Wiggins is still just as quick as ever. So it's one of pro football's most intense rivalries, the Cowboys and the Redskins today in Washington.
CBS Sports presents.
All you really need to say is the Cowboys against the Redskins, and that's about all the build-up you need, because these two people flat just don't like each other. And for the 117th consecutive time, RFK Stadium is sold out. Here are the standings beginning today, and with some adjustments of things that have happened. Washington, the NFC, and the NFL's only unbeaten team. 88. Successful in games that they have played after Thanksgiving Day. They played Cleveland last Thanksgiving Day, of course. They are 13-1. John Madden, of course, is with me, and John and I discussed that with Tom Landry last night.
Well, you know, Tom said that they've had this outstanding success because they were able to play on Thanksgiving, then they'd have those 10 days off, and they'd be able to get the rest. He said, now, coming off a 2-month strike, he said, we didn't need any rest. He said, we do need two things. He said, one, he said, we need intensity. We have to get intensity in our team, and we have to get conditioning. And the way to find out if we have it is to play a good team, and we are today the Redskins.
The Redskins are coached by Joe Gibbs, who's an old friend of John's, and we spent Friday afternoon in long conversation with him. What do you think, and what do you think he thinks he has to do to beat Dallas?
I know what he thinks. He says that the thing they have to do on defense is they can't give them any big plays. He said, you aren't going to stop Tony Dorsett, you aren't going to stop Danny White, but you have to control them. Don't give them an easy one. I think a lot of it's going to boil down to that young offensive line of the Washington Redskins. There they are. They're called the Hogs, and they're going against one of the real strengths of the Dallas Cowboys, that front four. That'll be a very interesting matchup to watch. So let's kick it off.
Let's have at it. Jeff Hayes will kick off, number 5, the rookie. Ball teed up, of course, at the 35. Doug Donnelly will be back deep for Dallas, number 83, along with Ron Fellows, who's been very effective, number 27. The field is not in the best shape. They've had rain all week long here in Washington. It rained during last week's Philadelphia game, so the track is not fast. Hayes hits it well. Donnelly cuts him for Fellows, a yard deep in the end zone. But Donnelly breaks out of the pack. Hayes, the last man, and he made the stop. The kicker saved 6. The offense for Dallas. Andy White, of course, the quarterback. Dorsett and Springs, the runners. The wide receivers, Tony Hill and Drew Pearson. Up front, Donovan Richards, Rafferty, Peterson, Cooper, and Doug Cosby starting now at tight end. Although, as you look down, I think I see the big back of Billy Joe Dupree also in the game. So it would appear they go with 2 tight ends to begin. Trying for win number 200, Tom Landry. We'll check the Redskin defense in just a minute. Dorsett takes the pitch to the left. Dorsett to the outside, gets good yardage. About 6. Mark Murphy nudged him out of bounds, and there's an injured Redskin on the first play. Now Perry Brooks still trying to get back to his feet. Those of you who watched the Cardinals defeat Philadelphia 23-20, welcome to RFK Stadium in Washington. You've missed one play of the initial drive by Dallas, if indeed it turns out to be one. Brooks is still down. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden.
It was interesting, Pat, as you said, the Cowboys started with 2 tight ends, 1 back in the backfield, and that's what we'll see most of the game from the Washington Redskins.
The Redskins defense, the defensive line, Mendenhall, Butts, Brooks, and Manley, although it doesn't look like it'll be Brooks much longer. It'll probably be Darrell Grant. Linebackers, Hoffman and Olkowitz on the outside. Hoffman and Millot, I might beg your pardon, on the outside. Olkowitz in the middle. The secondary, Joe Gibbs said perhaps they played their best game ever as a unit last week. White, Dean, Murphy, and Tony Peters.
Of course, Vernon Dean is a rookie from San Diego State, and he beat out Joe Lavender, who was one of the good covering corners in this league.
They started him, and they put him there because he is a hitter. And Gibbs felt that he needed a little bit more physical secondary. 2nd down and 5, called it. Dorsett the 1 carry for 5. Dorsett remains one of the runners. Ron Springs is the other. 2nd and 5. off Dorsett. Dorsett is hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Good play by the safety man. Darius White and Tony Peters both up there quickly.
We were talking about Vernon Dean in the secondary. That was one of the things Joe Gibbs wanted to see, is he wanted those corners and safety men to get involved in the running game, and I think we just saw a real good example of that.
We sure did. Redskins now go with 5 defensive backs. You see number 20 come out of the pack. That is Lavender, of whom John was talking a minute ago. 3rd down and 3. Shotgun. White has springs wide open. Up to the 45, knocked out of bounds, and a penalty marker goes down. Monty Coleman knocked him out of bounds, an 8-yard pickup, enough for a first down. They may have a quip.
Looks like it's against the Cowboys. They do have a clip, and it is against the Cowboys.
Referee is Jerry Markbright. I think it was Drew Pearson who was coming back to block for Springs. It was guilty of the quip. If so, you'll hear a reference to number 88.
Personal foul, clipping number 88, offense, 3rd down.
Oh, you don't miss a thing.
Well, we got a good view here. There's a guy who didn't miss much.
He doesn't miss a thing. 199 victories. He's going for win number 200. Look at that record.
Only George Hallis and Curly Lambeau have more victories in professional football. Butch Johnson, 3 wide receivers for Dallas. 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. White does well to get rid of it. Tony Hill, the intended receiver, hit down by Vernon Dean and hit with a lot of whack.
I love these rivalry games. You see Joe Theismann getting ready to go on the field there. You can just feel the electricity in this stadium. It's been this way for over an hour and a half.
Back when George Allen was here, this became one of the most intense rivalries in professional football. Mike Nelms back deep. Danny White will punch for Dallas. Nelms is dangerous. Good kick by Danny White. Kicking away from Nelms. And now Nelms takes it. Down quickly for Dallas. Rod Hill. Let's check out some other final scores. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City 35-14. Chicago for Mike Ditka, their 2nd victory, 26-13 over New England. San Diego 30, the troubled Cleveland Browns 13. Joe Theismann will give you the rest of the offensive lineup in just a minute. For the most part, they operate with one setback, and it is John Riggin. It'll be Riggin. Hit by Harvey Martin and Guy Brown before he can go anywhere. Here is the Washington offense, young and strong. Theismann, the quarterback. Joe Washington sometimes. Riggins, Brown, Charlie Brown, who's having a great start, and Art Monk. Up front, a huge offensive line. Jacoby, Grimm, Bostic, May, Stark, and the tight end, Don Warren. Riggins lost 2, make it 2nd and 12. Joe Washington now is the lone back. He'll go with 3 wide receivers, Monk in motion. Here's Washington, chased by Randy White. And cut down after about a 4-yard pickup by Dennis Thurman and Benny Barnes and Randy White.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of this man doing that thing we just saw. You know, I think that they haven't used him much in the 2 games since the strike. Joe Gibbs said he's going to use him today much more, and he'll be used mostly on draws, we just saw, and screens.
He is, of course, a very good pass receiver, too. Here's the Dallas defense. Linebackers, familiar names, and so is the secondary. 3rd and 5. From the 23, Theismann drops, looks for Brown. Has his tight end Warren come across the middle for a Redskins first down outside the 30. Dexter Quincedale, a reserve Dallas defender, cut him down.
Let's watch it from the end zone. It looked like he was throwing to his left end, Charlie Brown. See, he's looking left all the way. You see Warren, 85, he came to the inside, stopped, and then worked back to the outside. First down.
From the 33. Heisman will throw quickly. Monk. One-on-one on Everson Walls, and he almost got away from the whole thing. Another first down, Washington.
Art Monk there is probably one of the top players on this Redskin team. That was a problem last year. That was all they had out there was Art Monk. And this year with Charlie Brown, they really have a good combination. You can't double Art all the time because Charlie Brown has scored 5 touchdown passes in 4 games.
Final score as the Packers roll on. 33-21 over Buffalo. First down, Redskins. Riggins powering as only he can do. Brunig on the bottom of the pile, but Riggins got about 4.
I love that. You see that? All those bodies in there, the white jerseys, blue jerseys, a little mud out there in the field. This is going to be a good one. This is the way football used to be, the way it should be.
Well, you like the dirt, too, don't you?
I like the dirt, the mud, grass, stuff like that. You know, where you get chunks of that stuff from your helmet and dirty jerseys and sweat.
Just had a water bucket. Ricky Walker goes in motion. Riggins again gets the call and breaks back inside very close to another Redskin first down. Guy Brown tripped him up. This crowd loving this Redskin possession.
I think they love these Redskins, period. One of the things that Joe Gibbs told us, he said they've never been able to do since he's been here, of course, which is only his 2nd year. They've never been able to run in the Cowboys. Of course, they've never beaten them. So we have to run, and that's where we were talking about earlier. That big offensive line he feels on the run has to handle that front 4 of Dallas. Tough job.
They're certainly big enough to get it done. Very short yardage needed for a first. Third, about a foot. Wonsley is the ball carrier. I don't know. It's going to be close. Walls, the first man to make contact.
It sure didn't look like he made anything. Everson Walls and Mike Eggman were right there in the hole, and he didn't have any forward momentum going. This will be an interesting call if they don't make it. We're talking about early here in the first quarter, maybe an inch or two. Do you go for it, or do you punt it?
Theismann signaling over to Gibbs, saying we have about a foot, and that's about what it looks like.
Watch this stop again. We see Everson Walls at corner. He's right up in the line. He gets penetration, takes on the guard, and watch right there is Brunig, and then Hegman comes in, and then Walls is right there to stop him. And once contact was made, there was no forward motion. You got the answer. They are going to punt.
Jeff Hayes, who's had some problems lately. Since the strike, he hasn't been punting very well. Ron Fellows standing back at his own 10. He has become a dangerous punt returner as well. Here's Hayes. This is a fine kick. A beauty. Rolls into the end zone, and Dallas will operate from the 20. A little scuffle or two going on back upfield. Members of the special teams trying to revive the rivalry. 47-yard punt. Bounced into the end zone. Dallas will start from its own 20. 0-0 score. Dallas has the football now with 9:09 left to play in the first quarter. You'll recall the first play from scrimmage. Washington had a man injured, Terry Brooks. And the word on Terry is that he has a sprained left knee. Whether he'll be back or not, we'll just have to wait and see. First down, Dallas and 10 from the 20. Two tight end setup. Cosby. Outside to Pearson. Redskins react quickly. Lost 3. Dexter Manley out there, and he is quick.
Let's see if we can watch that. Dexter Manley, you know, he's the He's the right defensive end here, and he's one of the fastest men on the Redskins team. I remember last year he used to be the outside man on punt coverage. Watch him, 72 there, started a pass rush, saw the screen, boom, right down the line out there to make the tackle.
Loss of 2, second and 12, back at the 18. Dorsett and Springs now, the two runners. White to Springs. He is cut down for another loss of 2. That is a very determined bunch of young men right there.
I don't know what the definition of intensity is, but I guarantee you that crowd and that bench, they sure have it here today in Washington, D.C.
That was Brooks who made the tackle. So he is back in action. Washington pretty much stays with a 4-man front, the 3 linebackers, and now they have 5 defensive backs. Dallas, 3rd and 14 from the 16. They're faking, showing blitz, and they do. White has the man open. Tony Hill struggles for a first down. He may have it. He was flung backwards, but I think he has the first down. Vernon Dean was there. Right now, while we have a second, let's run down some of the other scores. First down, Dallas, by the way. Miami beat Minnesota 22-14. St. Louis over Philadelphia. The Eagles really having some problems, 23-20. Tampa Bay beat New Orleans, broke their winning streak at 3, 13-10. And Green Bay 33, Buffalo at 21. First down, Dallas, right at the 30. White, Dorsett, behind the line of scrimmage by Butts. Just to continue with the rest of the final scores, the Giants came from behind to beat Houston 17-14. Only the second time they've ever played. Pittsburgh over Kansas City 35-14. Chicago over New England 26-13. And San Diego over Cleveland 30-13. That's all. It's 2nd and 10. This is Tony Hill out wide to the right. Dorsett the lone setback. And off Dorsett. Couple of blockers out in front, but that Redskin defense just shucked them.
I'll tell you who did a heck of a job of shucking, and that was the rookie cornerback, number 32, Vernon Dean. He's the right corner. He read the sweep coming out to that side. He came up from the outside, took on a blocker, and Dorsett. That was a great play by a cornerback. You always think of cornerbacks and pass defense, but that was a heck of a play by Vernon Dean against the run.
It'll be 3rd and 12. Clock running at 5:45 left first quarter. No scores yet. Dallas goes now with 3 wide receivers. Redskins blitzing a lot of folks. White does get rid of it. The blitz made him hurry. Intended for Butch Johnson. Listen to the crowd.
I think we learned one thing. Watch 23 there. That's the strong safety, Tony Peters. He's up there. The linebackers, both safeties are coming. Each time the Cowboys went to the shotgun, the Redskins have blitzed it. So I think the Cowboys are going to see a lot of blitzing today.
They already have seen a lot. White has punted once already, 53 yards. Nelms back deep. This one's not as good. Nelms has the handle. Had a little bit of room, still fighting, trying to get out of the mass of bodies and can't get it accomplished. 42-yard punt, 6-yard return. So with 5:22 now left to play in the first quarter, score. Dallas has beaten Washington 5 consecutive times. So the rivalry between these two sort of died out a little bit. But now it's on the way back. Theismann will throw on first down. Looking with lots of time, gets it outside. Ricky Walker, one of the Redskins tight ends. They have a lot. Stopped by Everson Walls. Atlanta 7, Denver 7, first quarter. Cincinnati trailed Baltimore at one time, but they have come back to 20-10, fourth quarter. About a yard pickup on that play to the 37. They'll make it 2nd and 9. Bill Theismann doing just a great job this year. Walker in motion. Theismann straight back. Blitz is on. He had it read perfectly. Don Warren, the receiver. They got about 6 yards. Right now for an NFL update, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger.
Pat, here's the tying touchdown by Denver that you just reported against Atlanta. It is a 3-yard run from the I formation. Sammy Winder has got it. Now let's go back to Pat and John.
7-7 there, nothing here. Third down and 3 at the 43. John Riggins is out. Joe Washington, pass receiver, is in. Munson in motion. Theismann with time. Now chased by Randy White. Picked off. This is Dexter Clinkscale who comes up with the interception. And the Cowboys will have it at their own 46, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was fine coverage by Dexter Clinkscale. Of course, the Cowboys are in their 5 defensive backs. Now watch 47 comes up. He has Washington. He sees him. He gets behind him, stays underneath him, and is in great position. Makes a great reaction to the ball. Dexter Clinkscale.
Second-year pro from South Carolina State. Cowboys will have it 1st and 10 at their own 45. 3:47 left first quarter when we come back. 0-0. 3:47 left first quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden, and we're at RFK Stadium in Washington, which of course is sold out. 2 tight ends, Cosby on the left, Dupree on the right. One back to Dorsett. White with good time, looking for Tony Hill. Picked off by Vernon Dean, a spectacular catch. And here comes Dean. He's got some room. Dupree in front of him now, and Dupree takes him down. 28-yard return by Vernon Dean.
The Redskins have been blitzing. Now on 1st down, they're playing their corners off and deep. It looked like Dallas thought they were playing them tight. Now Vernon Dean, watch the cushion he has on him. You see, Hill doesn't have a step on him. In fact, he has the steps on Hill, and he made a great over-the-head catch. Like a receiver.
I'm going to say, it looked like the pass was meant for him. He still made a great catch. And a 28-yard return. And the Redskins turn it over.
Take a look what a weak side rotator zone. Here's Vernon Dean. He's going deep outside. He'll make the interception. Peters, deep middle. Over here we have Jarris White deep outside. Now we see the safety is going to rotate up here weak side, the weak safety. Now watch it here. Now watch the zone develop. You'll see Dean backpedaling. He just has the deepest. Stop it. See, now we stop it here. You see the position he has right here? Safety in the middle. And of course Danny White threw it right to Dean.
1st and 10 from the 37. Riggins got a block from his tight end. Almost found a bigger hole than it appeared to be in the beginning. Randy White was the first man to make the stop. The Raiders and Seattle. Marcus Allen has scored for the LA Raiders. Seattle, of course, had played extremely well for Mike McCormick. Shut out Pittsburgh last week.
2-0 since the strike.
2nd and 5 for Washington. Riggins again looking for some room over the right side. Benny Barnes, the safety man, came up quickly and took him to the dirt. 2:45 left first quarter. Still no score.
What the Redskins are trying to do here is mix up, run and pass, get some first downs, keep the offense on the field, keep Dallas's defense on the field, and not let Dallas's offense have a lot of shots at their defense.
And get some yards on first down. That was very much a key.
Some yards rushing.
3rd down and 3. Monk goes in motion. Clarence Harmon was the running back that time. Here's Theismann. Had a man outside. had Charlie Brown, who might have been anxious to start things upfield too soon. Clinkscale and Fellows on the defense.
I tell you, the Dallas probably plays that 6 defensive backs as well as anyone. They bring in Ron Fellows, who we just saw make a play there, and Dexter Clinkscale, who we saw with the interception on the last series. They do a fine job with that 6 defensive back, that pass defense.
Jeff Hayes back to punt. Ron Fellows back deep for Dallas, standing at the 15. This one doesn't turn over. Redskins down it at about the 24, where Dallas will take over in 1st and 10. 30-yard punt. That fell dead as soon as it hit. 2:04 now left in the first quarter, and still no score. It is Dallas nothing, Washington nothing. First quarter, 2 minutes, 3 seconds left to play. John Riggins, who just went to the oxygen and just went back to it, over on the Redskin bench. This game, everything we expected. Dorsett and Springs, the 2 runners now. Pearson swings in motion. White on first down. Look, still looking. As a man. Ron Springs, who came out of the backfield, got about 7 outside the 30. Mel Kaufman, the linebacker, knocked him down.
I'll tell you, that Danny White is a tough guy. You know, he just stood there, stood in there, and right when he threw the ball, he really took a whack from Dave Bucks. Now, that's a real whack. When the guy's 6'7" and weighs over 300 pounds, that's putting something on you.
White had a lot of bodies circling around him. A lot of Redskins in the area. And as you pointed out, he just stood in there. 2nd and 3 from the 31. Dupree just checked in with the play. 2 tight ends, Crosby and Dupree over on the right side. Dorsett alone back. Fake to Dorsett. White under pressure, has the ball just go up in the air, and Pearson come down with it. Drew Pearson, who's done that so many, many times. Tony Peters back there with him. 24-yard pickup for Dallas. And White again took a shot.
He really took a shot on that one. Let's see if we can watch that again. We see Drew Pearson coming in motion, and he's going to run down and across. You see just a deep cross. Peters sees him there, but he's turned the wrong way, and the ball goes right over Peters' head, or right inside him, and Drew Pearson out jumps him for the ball. Let's watch and see if we can see again the pressure on the quarterback. Watch from the right side of your screen. Watch now, White's getting ready to throw it. Now watch the whack he takes right there and still makes a completion to Drew Pearson.
Was Dexter Manley who put the hitting on White. First down Dallas at the Redskin 45. First time they've been in that territory. Dorsett with not much room over the left side, got a couple. Matt Mendenhall made the stop.
Let's see if we can watch that defense on the chalkboard here. Now here's where Manley's coming from right here. And he's going to come from the outside. Now just watch the pressure that he puts. Let's watch it. See, he's coming from outside the tight end. He's not lined up on the tackle. Well, that was a running play.
And Dorsett is the man who is still down. The injured Cowboys, Tony Dorsett. Don't forget, next Saturday, CBS Sports will bring you the Philadelphia Eagles against the Giants at 12 Eastern Time. That's next Saturday. It was preceded by the NFL today. The Eagles and the Giants. Another one of those old matchups where the folks don't like each other. Dorsett up and off. He had a bad toe, but I don't think that's the problem there.
It looked like he just had the wind knocked out of him on that play. You know, it was interesting. Until this series, the Cowboys were only averaging 0.5 on first down. Then they started to throw on first down. So I think we'll either see more of that or we'll see a mixture of run and pass on first down.
Dorsett is replaced by Timmy Newsom. He goes about 230 at the tailback spot now. End of the first quarter. Still no score. RFK Stadium is really alive today. 2nd and 8 from the 15. Well, very difficult it has been for either team to run so far. Dallas only 7 yards rushing. Most of that came on the first play. And the Redskins with only 21. Defensive battle. There are some Dallas fans sitting up over the picture of the Hogs.
There's something just interesting just happened there. I don't know why, but an official came in the huddle and took Tony Dorsett out and took him over to the sideline.
He has to be, if he goes out of the game, he has to stay out one play, doesn't he?
That's probably what it was, and if they change a quarter, they'll probably put him back in.
That's right. So Newsom, number 30, is there now. That's Cosby in motion. This is White to throw. Manley with a rush. This is Duck Cosby, the motion man, who goes out of bounds inside the Redskins 35, a Dallas first down. Tony Peters knocked him out of bounds.
That's what did happen on that play. Tony Dorsett had an injury timeout. He had to stay out one play. Let's watch it here from the end zone. Now we see that the Redskins are in a stunt. The Cowboys do a nice job of picking it up. Danny White just throws it, boom, right out there to Doug Cosby.
Dorsett is back in the game. White is 6 out of 9 for 59 yards, the 1 interception. Dorsett deep in the eye. White again will throw it on first down. He has Tony Hill. Tony's juking. Jarris White out there with him, but he's got about 8 or 9 yards down to near a first down, not quite. Dorsett against Washington. Here's how he's done. Last year, over 100 yards both times, the first time. I was interested too, John, when we looked earlier about his success on grass and on artificial turf.
The difference is very little. In fact, there's only a yard difference between his rushing total here in Washington and his rushing total in Dallas.
2nd and 1. Finish the 24. Dorsett will get the call and the carry, and Dorsett is close to a first down, but not much. Terry Brooks made the stop. Here's what we were talking about.
Right, he has 74 yards average at home against the Redskins, and here in Washington, 73 yards. You always talk about Dorsett is better on artificial turf. He slows down on grass, but that sure isn't true when he plays against the Washington Redskins.
He was near enough a first down on the last carry for them to bring the measuring apparatus out, and got it. 1st and 10 from the Redskin 24 for Dallas. Still no score. 14 and a half minutes left to play in the first half. Tom Landry, who calls every play, shuttles somebody in and out of the game on every play. Jim Myers along there, the all-time leading coaches. Landry shooting for number 200 today. Alice and Lambeau further up the list, the only two. White steps into the pocket and throws intended for Cosby. The Redskins had it well covered. Vernon Dean got the hand on it. He looks good.
He sure does. You know, he's played well against the run, against the pass. On that play, Danny White was trying to go deep into the end zone to Tony Hill on the left-hand side. Hill was covered, so he had to come off that, and he went to Cosby. I think what he expected that the Redskins would be in a man-to-man defense, and they rolled up in a zone, so he didn't have anything to Hill, and he had to find something underneath it.
The Raiders up now 14-0 over Seattle. And Denver ahead of Atlanta, 14-7. 2nd and 10. Redskins, of course, expecting pass. They get a draw play. Dorsett bangs down close to the 10. Hard running by Tony Dorsett gives Dallas another first down, and Mark Murphy a headache.
So Tony Dorsett runs the draw. Now, as you say, the Redskins expect pass. See, they're all in the pass rush. They're going now to get Danny White. Boom, he fools him, hands it to Dorsett. Look at that hole here. Now, this is what it looks like to Mark Murphy. Boom, you come up. He thought Dorsett would stand up. Dorsett went underneath him, and he jolted him back a couple of yards.
1st and goal, Dallas, right at the 10-yard line. They can't make a first down without scoring. Dorsett deep in the eye. Again, it's Tony Dorsett. Not much room this time. He stumbles down to about the 8. Right now, for an update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, here's that second Denver touchdown that you reported. It's going to be DeBerg under heavy pressure against Atlanta. A simple slant to Steve Watson, and they lead it by 7. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Here in Washington, Dallas inside the 10. Second and goal and back from the 8. Brooks comes out. Darrell Grant goes in. That's in the Redskin defensive line. Second and goal at the 8. 12 and a half minutes left to play first half. Fake to Dorsett. The lob to Springs. Touchdown, Cowboy. Mel Kaufman was the closest Redskin. Well executed play.
That was a great drive. The Cowboys started on the 24-yard line, drove the ball 76 yards. That was a play pass. He faked to Dorsett. Springs was the first back. Let's see if we can watch it now. Springs is to the right hand of the screen. He comes across here. He fakes to Dorsett. Springs goes. He gets past Kaufman right there, and Danny White just loops it over Kaufman's head into the hands of Ron Springs. Good play fake.
Raphael Septien with Glenn Carano holding. We'll try to make it 7-0 Dallas. Septien hits. And so Dallas, in this very intense rivalry between Washington and Dallas, the Cowboys strike first. They lead 7-0.
Look at the Dallas Cowboy touchdown again. Kaufman is the man that has to cover Springs here. We get a fake to Dorsett into the line. Springs just gets right here behind Kaufman and into the end zone. Let's watch it. See the play fake? That holds the line. It holds the linebackers, and we see Springs up there. He sneaks right by Kaufman, and again, White just throws it over the head of Kaufman and into the hands of Springs.
And Dallas leads 7-0. Septien will kick it off. Mike Nelms back for the Redskins at the goal line. Septien. Short. Nelms from the 5. He is dangerous. Stacked up at about the 25 as the Dallas coverage is good, led by Fellows. Next Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won today against the very tough New York Jets. New Orleans at Atlanta, Washington at St. Louis, Detroit at Green Bay, and Chicago at Seattle. First down, Redskins at their own 26. Joe Theismann, of course, the quarterback. Monk comes out to the right along with Ricky Walker. Now Walker goes back inside in motion. Riggins the lone setback, and Theismann trying for Monk. Penalty marker down. Monk is hit. Everson Walls out there with him. This is Barnes who came over and wrapped him out of bounds, but the penalty marker goes down.
Maybe against Walls because, again, he can bump Monk, but he can only do it in the first 5 yards. Joe Theismann was trying to throw a quick out there. And then Walls rotated, so Monk made an adjustment and went on and up. It is against the Cowboys, and I'm sure it's against Everson Walls because he's talking to an official there about it.
Has to be.
Illegal use of the hands, number 24, defense, automatic first down.
Let's see if we can watch it again. Now here's Monk. Now again, Walls can come up and he can hit him in that 5-yard area. Boom, he hits him there. That looks like it's within 5 yards. See, now he was going to run a short out. He adjusted and went up. Unless he called him for hitting in the head, that looked like a legal play to me.
I thought it was. He could have called him for hitting in the head. Theismann going deep. Dennis Thurman back there. Pass intended for number 80, Virgil C. But Thurman back in good shape.
Let's take a look here in the pits and watch the blocking on Randy White. He's in that frog stance. He's back. We see him 74 right there. He was up. He's right there. Good blocking by the guard on him, by Russ Grimm. They back off, then the center gets on him. I'll tell you, he takes a few shots, and then May comes over from the right guard and gives him one. He draws a crowd.
He always does. The double teams. Joe Washington has replaced Riggins. This is Brown in motion. On the draw play is Washington. A little bit of running room, and he can run. Barnes comes out to wrap him up, but a first down, Joe Washington. 12-yard pickup on the draw play.
Look at that one guy in the middle there is holding his heart. I tell you, they said they were going to do this. They alternate Joe Washington and John Riggins. Riggins will run those tough yards, the inside running, and they're going to run the delay or the draw plays to Joe Washington.
Riggins back into the contest and Washington out now. First down, Redskins at their own 43. Dallas leading 7-0. 11:20 left to play in the first half. Take draw. Brunig on a blitz and Theismann down with some help from Mike Hegman. Ty Brown also around. Loss of 4.
Bruning's the middle linebacker. We see him 53. We see 54. Randy White take the outside. Bruning just takes the middle, and he puts the pressure on right there on Joe Theismann. As everyone collapses, they all get there at the end.
Riggins came up and tried to block number 53, but he was on him too quick. 2nd and 14 from the 39. Brown and Monk come out wide to the right. Theismann is unhappy with the signal he got from the bench. So the Redskins take a timeout. That'll mean they have 2 left. 10:47 left to play in the first half. It is Dallas. And also next Saturday, the NFL Today begins that sports day. And then it's the Eagles against the Giants. Giants won again. They've won twice. And the playoff picture seems to be becoming a little bit clearer. Dallas in their passing defense. They use Washington again on the draw, and he gets pretty good yardage to about the 45 before they tip him up. Don Smerrick, who's been playing very well in replacing John Dutton, made the stop that time. Dallas with their extra backs in the game now. Front. No linebackers. 1 linebacker. Take it back. And 6 defensive backs. 3rd down. They need 8 for a first. Theismann looking down the middle. Has a man open. And overthrows it. Penalty markers everywhere. Pass was intended for Art Monk. That one came from, that flag came from a long way back.
It was a deep man, the field judge, number 91. He's the official that plays the deep middle. And there was a contact by a Cowboy in the secondary while the ball was in the air.
It's against Dallas. I believe Benny Barnes.
Illegal contact foul, number 34, defense, automatic first down.
Sorry, Benny. It was Monty Hunter. One of the young Dallas defenders, Big Game Hunter, they call him. At midfield, Redskin first down. 10:03 left to play in the first half. Dallas leading 7-0. Riggins bangs for about 5 straight ahead. Stopped by Michael Downs, the safety man.
Well, the interesting thing about that running play to John Riggins, it was stolen out of the Cowboy playbook because they took their tight end, Rick Walker, brought him in motion, and he led up the middle. That's an old Cowboy play that they've been running for years. And now the Redskins say, hey, that works pretty good against us. Let's see how you can stop it.
Good enough for 5 yards. Well, call it 2nd and 6. They get in 4 at the 46. Just outside the 45. Riggins again. On the other side, 2 or 3. Harvey Martin on the bottom of that stack.
I think what the Redskins are trying to do, and they're really not getting enough running to create some short yardage situations, what they're trying to do is pound at that Cowboy defense to keep that front four at home so they just don't all tee off on the passer. But they're really not picking up enough yards, and they're ending up with that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, where they have to get into passing situations. Then they're getting the 6 defensive backs.
3rd down, 3 from the 43. And Theismann does get himself in a passing situation. This is Clarence Harmon. He'll be close. Knocked out of bounds by Anthony Dickerson. He got it.
Of course, the 6 defensive backs are all working downfield. Now watch Joe Theismann. He has Clarence Harmon there in the back. He watches Harmon all the way. Boom, he throws a little outlet pass to him. Not a screen, but it was enough for the first down.
Harmon kept it in bounds long enough for the Redskins to pick up the first down at the Dallas 36. Clock stopped with 8:47 left to play first half, and Washington on the drive. Looks like a busted play. Theismann chased by Dutton. Penalty marker goes down, back by Theismann. Dutton collapsed on him, and now Dutton is just there with his head in his hand. They called an unnecessary roughness penalty against Big John, I'm sure.
Now that's a tough one. That's a tough one. No, it's against the Redskins. Because I was going to say, once that quarterback starts to run or scramble, then he's really a runner. And that would have been a tough call had it been against Dutton. But of course it wasn't against Dutton. It was against the Redskins.
Somebody must have hit Dutton in the back just at the last minute and knocked him into Theismann.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 88, offense, a blow to the head. First down.
That's Ricky Walker, who nudged Dutton, I believe.
Let's see if we can see what Walker does. Now we see the scramble here. Walker's out there to block, yeah, and he takes a shot at Dutton right in the face.
Blow to the head. 1st and 25. That hurt. 8:41 left to play in the first half. Redskins have the ball at their own 49. Theismann with a controlled roll. And now he's going to run. It's a play that Joe Gibbs likes very much. It is an intended rollout.
What it is, that it's a scramble. It's an organized scramble. He starts back. Then the offensive line invites everyone to the inside. They go in, then they block him in. Joe's able to get outside. Now, they did that all perfectly, but there was no one open. Good coverage by the Cowboys secondary.
It'll be 2nd and 17. 8:04 left to play. Now make it 8 minutes left to play in the first half with Dallas leading Washington 7-0. Brown comes out wide to the right side, along with Monk. Clarence Harmon stays in behind Theismann. Theismann has Art Monk open. And Monk gets down inside the 30 to about the 29. Not enough for a first down. Ron Fellows made the stop.
What the Redskins do with Art Monk is they move him all over the field. He plays right side, left side. He plays tight end and passing downs. That play was a motion play. Came in motion, and then he comes across. Let's see if we can watch it from the end zone. Theismann goes back. You can't see Monk. He's coming in motion, and then he comes underneath right here.
Chasing behind him. It's 3rd down, Washington, and 4. Theismann again will put it up. Has Monk. Penalty marker down on the other side of the field. Monk had enough for the first down. But we'll see.
That was an interesting play, Pat. On the play before that, it looks like the penalty's going against the Redskins. It's in the area of the holding call. And it is. Thank you, Jerry. But on the play before that, Monk came in motion, went across the field. This time he came in motion, started across, stopped, and went back.
Jerry Markbright will mark it off and then tell us who did it.
Holding number 66, offense, 3rd down.
That is the rookie offensive tackle, Joe Jacoby, who stands 6'7". And weighs 295.
You knew the The holding penalty was against Jacoby because it was thrown right at his area, right at the left tackle position.
So it'll be 3rd and 14 from the 40. Monk again in motion. Monk stays in to block this time. Got a man. Ooh, he almost had 6. Virgil C. had a step on Ron Fellows.
Joe Theismann, he knows it. He had a touchdown there, and it was just a little too far.
That holding penalty not only took him away from the first down, it took him out of range of Mark Mosley.
It was really a good drive by the Redskins. The only thing is they had 2 big penalties in it that brought him back.
Jeff Hayes standing at about his 45 to punt for Washington. Fellows back at the 10. Hayes doesn't look like he can get comfortable back there. Shank. A 10-yard punt goes out of bounds, no return.
That's what happens when you can't get comfortable.
He just never really could get set back there. 7-0. Dallas leads Washington. Washington had the ball 10 plays. They kept it 5 minutes and 46 seconds and come up empty. Dallas has it 1st and 10 at their own 31 with 6:41 left to play in the first half. They lead 7-0. This is Dorsett. Nothing doing. Tony Peters came up quickly. Dexter Manley in good pursuit. That's good hustle.
That was good hustle. What Tony Dorsett was doing, he was swinging that thing out. He was waiting for his line to get in front of him so they could find a hole. He just couldn't find a hole. Now watch the white shirts, the Redskin defense. They start down the line. They're in good position. Now watch Dorsett. He's looking for a hole. There's no hole there. See, there was nothing in front of him. Then he just had to go to the outside. And when he did that, Tony Peters was right there. Good job of defense. 3 guys. That's the old triangle. We used to call that the triangle against the sweep. Outside, inside, and head on.
A loss of 9 by Dorsett. And White back to throw. Takes, throws the screen out to Ron Springs. Got a blocker in front. Springs cuts back inside. Springs gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. Not quite. Rich Millot was out to make the stop. Cincinnati beat Baltimore. Colts scored some points. Cincinnati had a struggle, but they still won, improving their record now to 4-1. 5 wins get you in the playoff, John?
I think so. I think a 5-4 would definitely get a team in the playoff. I don't know if 4-5 will, but I think the teams that after this weekend have 2 wins, I think will be in pretty good shape.
3rd down conversions you saw. It's 3rd down 11. Shotgun. Here comes that blitz again. White has a man out there. Butch Johnson will have the Dallas first down and will also stop the clock with 5 minutes and 1 second left to play. Joe Lavender took him out of bounds. 14-yard pickup. Good throw.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing again, the shotgun, the long yardage, and we see the Redskins blitzing. We see out here Butch Johnson, man-to-man. He runs an out pattern on Joe Lavender right there at the top of the screen. Lavender gets there too late. First down, Cowboys.
The difference in that one and the earlier ones is that the Cowboys picked everybody up.
They picked up the blitz.
As they say, they had a hat on everybody.
I like that. Hat. Put a hat on them all and you got them blocked. Woo!
From the 43, 1st and 10. White will again throw on first down. Outside, Tony Hill. Is it? Drew Pearson, sorry. Not much.
I can see the Cowboy game plan changing now in this second quarter. They started out trying to run on first down. Now they're passing on first down, and they're trying to hit in front of those corners who are off on first down because they're playing zone. And they're picking up the blitz on the long yardage and trying to hit the outs and man-to-man coverage.
White is now 10 out of 15. Marcus Allen now has scored twice for the Los Angeles Raiders, and they're blowing Seattle away. 2nd and 10. White with good protection gets it to Billy Joe Dupree and another Dallas first down. A perfect throw, and it had to be. Will 5-yard gain.
And that's what Danny White is watching for. We'll see Billy Joe Dupree. He's man-to-man on a linebacker. It's Mel Kaufman. We'll see him come across. See right there, see Kaufman hit him. Now he has to chase him. And old Danny White just put the ball right in front of him. It really wasn't bad coverage for a linebacker from Cal Poly.
Really, there's not too much you can do when the ball is thrown that well.
Billy Joe Dupree, you know, the big guy. 6'5", 230 pounds.
The all-time leading Dallas Cowboy receiver. Nothing doing. Ron Spring. Clock ticking now. Less than 4 minutes left to play as Danny White looks over to the side, waiting for the play to come in, this time in the person of Tony Dorsett.
You know, sometimes those guys get to play from the coach, and by the time they get to the huddle, they forget to play.
You have to be careful who you send it in with.
But sometimes the quarterback calls a snap count, and he forgets to count by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 8. Dorsett goes back deep in the eye. Tony Hill this time, another Dallas first down and another good throw. A good pattern. Everything worked well. Good protection, 14-yard gain.
Let's see if we can watch Tony Hill out there. He's man-to-man again on Vernon Dean. Dean is off. He's giving him a cushion. See, Hill just runs a hook, stops in front, and the ball gets there before Dean does.
White now 12 out of 17, 123 yards, the one touchdown, the only touchdown of the game to Ron Spring. Pearson goes out to the right. Tony Hill once again to the left. 1st and 10 from the 29. Dorsett. Couple. Rich Malott led the Redskin defense. Number 57 made the first contact.
I'll tell you, the Cowboys are still trying, but they really haven't been successful running on first down. Now, conversely, the Redskin defense is really playing tough first down run. Let's see if we can watch. We see the linebackers up in there tight. You see a little blitz. In fact, I think that's a run blitz. We saw Neil Okowitz, the middle linebacker, coming, and they just big Dave Butts there. You don't move him. Linebacker in there. There's really no place to run. Sometimes you have blitzes against passes. You also have them against the run, and that was what we call a run blitz.
Dave Butts just flat beat the double team. White quickly at the lateral. Pearson, he could throw it. He throws it to the wrong man. This is Vernon Dean with another interception. Bert Peterson made the stop on Dean. Pass intended for Tony Hill. Pearson, of course, was a quarterback in college and in high school.
Let's watch this now. You see Danny White starts out. It looks like a screen out here to Drew Pearson. He catches the ball, has a guard out in front of him. He's throwing down there deep for Hill, but Vernon Dean was right back there. He was playing his zone. He didn't have to get out and help against the run. He stayed where he was supposed to and came up with an interception.
So Dallas is stopped with 1:52 left in the first half. They lead 7-0.
Saturday, the perennial battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Sunday, more.
New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, St. Louis, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago at Seattle. Lone setback is Joe Washington. Seisman throws down the middle for Art Monk and has him. Dexter points Gale. Redskins and hurry up. Remember they used a timeout earlier. 25-yard gain. Seisman to Monk. Redskins have 2 timeouts left.
Now the Cowboy defense, those 4 defensive linemen, they aren't in the flex anymore. In fact, they're all up there in the line of scrimmage, getting in a rush position.
One middle linebacker is Dickerson. They do not blitz. Washington does get outside. Upended by Everson Wall. Right now, once again, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
action we're going to have for everybody at halftime. All the scores and highlights coming up on the NFL today. Here's Junior Miller of Atlanta. They are strong left. Linebacker releases. Safety doesn't get over to that zone. And now they are tied at 14. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Career victory number 200, Tom Landry. 1:06 left to play in the second quarter. Dallas 7, Washington nothing. Redskins charged with this timeout. So they have only one.
And I want to keep this shutout for the half.
That's the timeout situation. 2nd and 4 at the Dallas 47 for Washington. Theismann yelling out to one of his wide receivers. Here comes Monk in motion. He runs a lot. He called Jones. Takes down Joe Theismann. Never saw him coming. He beat George Stark.
That's the toughest place for a right-handed quarterback. You know, when he starts to turn to the left, and he gets that pressure from his right side.
Boy, if you can't see him coming. Jones on the left side, fighting with Stark. There's the pass to Washington, who stays on his feet and stays on the sideline, and now gets out to stop the clock. 43 seconds left to play in the second quarter. Everson Walls knocked him out of bounds.
It was a tough one here for Joe Washington because he wanted to get out of bounds to stop the clock, but he also wanted to get up there for the first down. Theismann sees him out there, he hits him. Now watch the move, he makes sure he gets out of one tackle. A little move, it says, now I better get out of bounds. And that's right at the marker, and they're going to have a stretch job here to see if it's a first down.
All the way across the field. As Theismann has now some time while they measure to come over and talk without using a timeout.
And it is the first down. So we see one marker on this side, that's where they put the first down. But the other, the chains are on the other side, and that's the official one.
Theismann in conversation with Gibbs, who used to work for John Madden. Joe Gibbs used to work for John Madden, that's what I was trying to say. Here's the quarterback comparison, 8 out of 12 for Theismann, 12 out of 17 for Danny White. 1 touchdown, 1 interception for White. The other Dallas interception was by Drew Pearson, the pass was. Monk again in motion. Dallas taking, showing blitz. Theismann is chased, and down he goes, but there's a penalty marker down. Larry Bethea is the man who corralled Theismann. It's against Washington. Doubtless will be turned down.
I'm sure Dallas will have no part of that one. I tell you, this is the thing that Joe Gibbs said he wanted to stay out.
Number 87, offense, decline, 2nd down.
He said that Dallas, in those past defenses, the 6 defensive backs, the 4 linemen, they mix blitz and the whole thing. He said that's the toughest thing they do. He said you want to stay out of downs and situations where you have to throw. Of course, they're in it now with just 39 seconds to go.
2nd and 24, back at the Redskin 44 now. Dallas has 3 sacks on the day. 39 seconds left to play in the first half. Virgil C. out left. Monk in motion. Pass is caught by Monk once again. He gets down almost to the 40. Dennis Thurman wrestles him to the ground. Well shy of the first, and the Redskins will take their last time out.
That was a nice play by Dennis Thurman because Monk was trying to get out of bounds to the sideline. Dennis Thurman didn't let him, so the Redskins had to use their last time out.
31 seconds left. 7-0 Dallas. Back to New York for the NFL Today and a complete update of all the scores around the league today with Brent Musburger and Irv Cross. 3rd down 9 from the 41 for Washington. 31 seconds left. They need perhaps another 7 or 8 yards to get in range for Mark Mosley. Here comes Dallas showing blitz. Redskins picking it pretty well. Theismann now is taken down by Monty Hunter, who came from the outside. That's the 4th sack by the Cowboys. They picked up all but 1.
As we see it again, now watch, they see the blitz coming in the inside. See, they pick up them. The center goes right, the guard slides, but there's no one to pick up Monty Hunter coming from the right side. They had everyone picked up, but there had to be one free man, and that forced the Redskins into a punt situation.
Dallas does not really have anybody very deep. Jeff Hayes is in to punt for Washington. His last effort went only 10 yards. And they just let it run out. That's the end of half number 1 at RFK. We expected it would be a defensive struggle. It has been. And at the half, as Bill Gibbs goes in to talk to his team, it is the Dallas Cowboys 7, the Washington Redskins nothing, but still another half to go.
We started out the day concerned about the St. Louis Cardinals because they were without their sensational running back, O.J. Anderson. So instead, his replacement, Stump Mitchell, goes out and rushes for 145 yards. And the Cardinals down the Eagles.
Down the Eagles indeed, Brent. It's the slowest start for Philadelphia since Dick Vermeil took over in 1976. And here's the man Brent was talking about, Stump Mitchell, 9th round draft choice out of the Citadel. Comes up fielder for a 12-yard gain, setting up a touchdown opportunity for his club. And this time is Wayne Morris coming off his right tackle, goes in for a touchdown. With that touchdown, tied a Cardinal rushing record for score for John David Crow. Wilbert Montgomery from the Eagles gets the Eagles on the board with a 2-yard touchdown run. It looks like they have things under control. But it's not to be today because Stump Mitchell is the man of the hour. A substitute, eh? Watch this run. 25 carries, as Brent said, 145 yards, and 1 touchdown. Stump Mitchell, the man of the hour for the Cardinals.
And in case you were not with us earlier today on the NFL Today, O.J. did not play because he had a heart problem after last Sunday's game. He underwent an arteriogram, and it is believed that he will be able to return to action next week for the Cardinals. He watched that game alongside the rest of his teammates. He was in civilian clothes. Now, elsewhere, the Giants rallied in the Meadowlands in the 4th quarter and pulled one out against the Houston Oilers. The final 17-14, but it took the Giants a while to get on the right track against the Oilers. Rob Carpenter, of course, had returned to the lineup after being a holdout for some time. He was effective early, but it was Lawrence Taylor who knocked Archie Manning, the Oiler quarterback, out of the game because of a bruised hip. Archie did return later. His replacement, Gifford Nielsen, threw this pass to Gary Allen, who caught the ball at the 1 and then got in, and the Oilers led 7-3. Manning back in the second half, and he goes to tight end Dave Casper, who's been on a tear ever since the strike ended, and it was 14-3. And then finally, it was Butch Woolfolk who took control of this football game. That dive over the top, and watch this. Giant fans will see this play over and over all week long. A one-handed grab, dashes on into the end zone, 40 yards for the touchdown. The Giants pull it out. And, of course, next Saturday, let me remind you that it will be the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. We will start our coverage live at 12 noon Eastern Time with the NFL Today. And Giant fans would certainly be interested in this note. Joe Morrison, a longtime running back with the Giants, has signed on today as head football coach at South Carolina. Joe did a tremendous job down at New Mexico. He guided that team to a 10-1 record. So Joe goes over to see if he can restore that Gamecock program. Now, meanwhile, the Chicago Bears have discovered a quarterback. 26-13, the Bears a winner. Now, here is Walter Payton. You know, this used to be the whole Bear attack. Payton right, Payton left, Payton up the middle. Well, finally get somebody else. Yeah, he threw for 2, Jim McMahon did. But watch this, folks. He gets on in for his 3rd one with a beautiful... Any more slides like that, and the Cubs will put him out there at Wrigley Field next year. Mike Ditka says, come on, let's get this program together here. And the Bears' record now is 2-3, and they got a shot to be one of the 8 playoff teams in the NFC. Now, the Green Bay Packers are for real. They were beaten last week by the New York Jets, but they went up against one of the better defenses, the Buffalo Bills. And with the rain and slop and goo in County Stadium, they got a weird touchdown here. On a fumble by Ellis, it was recovered now by Del Rogers. And then watch this little bit of trickery here.
Dickey hands the ball off to Eddie Lee Ivory, who hands the ball off to Lawson, number 80, who rambles around his right end on a reverse. A 30-yard gain. Doesn't quite get there, though, Brent.
Jan Stenerud kicking 4 field goals. Bart Starr and the Packers now push their record to 4-1 on the season. And there'll be a lot of high fives in Packerland from now on. Tampa Bay and New Orleans, probably as an exciting a game as there was any place. Tampa Bay's defense just may be the best. It all came down to this field goal at the end here by Anderson. That was a 60-yarder. Now, He would have tied it, I'm almost convinced, Irv. But that defense came in and sacked the snake, and Hugh Green turned in another great performance for the Buccaneers.
You know, the Buccaneers, ever since the first day Hugh Green stepped on the training camp field out there, said he's the best outside linebacker in football, even better than Lawrence Taylor.
All right, it'll be New Orleans and Atlanta next Sunday here on CBS, and that figures to be a big showdown because they'll meet twice the rest of the way. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, all week everybody wondered, is Terry Bradshaw going to play or isn't he? He missed most of last week's game in Seattle. Well, here he is, going downtown. That's 74 yards to John Stallworth. Bradshaw on the day threw 3 touchdown passes. He was 15 of 20 for 231 yards. But the Steel Curtain defense recorded 8 sacks, so they are back in business defensively. Now, San Diego over Cleveland, 30-13 was the final in that game. And the Baltimore Colts, they're better than that record indicates. They might have sent this game to overtime. They missed a field goal with time running out. If Frank Kush gets the kind of athlete who believes in that program, beware of his teams. They will not quit on you in the fourth quarter. The Bengals, extremely well coached, they hold on a win. The Dolphins over the Minnesota Vikings, 22-14, another well-coached team. What can you say about Don Shula? He lost a tough Monday nighter in Tampa. Then he comes back, and he was able to record that win. Finally, the game's in progress. They're at the half. The Broncos now lead the Atlanta Falcons 17-14, and the Los Angeles Raiders. Marcus Allen has rushed for about 125 yards at least in the first half. It is 28-7, the Raiders all over the Seahawks. And, of course, the game you're watching, it's a dandy. What can you say about that Cowboy defense that hasn't already been said? It's 7-0 at the half, and we will continue with the NFL today right after these messages from your local stations.
Eagles to make a short trip up the New Jersey Turnpike for a Saturday game in Giant Stadium. Now, the Eagles have a couple of scores to settle with New York, a regular season score and a playoff score. For it was the Giants who ruined Philadelphia's season last year.
Every game is an intense, very competitive sort of war.
It turns out to be a very physical battle.
If you come out alive in that game, you can say that you've been through a war.
In the first war, the Eagles crushed the Giants 24-10. Ron Jaworski to Rodney Parker for the score. But then in the second game, the Giants desperately needed a win. Terry Jackson stepped in and intercepted this Ron Jaworski pass and roared into the end zone. And the Giants' playoff hopes were alive.
We were in desperate need of a win at that point. Our playoff hopes looked very slim, and again, we hadn't beaten the Eagles in 12 tries, I guess, over the past few years. And we just went down. That was really my first start as the starter, and I just wanted to have a good game. And it turned out we won and got us rolling onto the playoffs.
Eagles-Giants, round 3. The Giants already lead by 13 when a second kickoff is fumbled by Wally Henry. Defensive back Mark Haynes recovers in the end zone. Scott Bruner carves up the Eagles secondary. This to Tom Mulledy.
They had a very good day offensively against a very talented defense of ours, and that's what's been sticking in my mind throughout the whole offseason.
The first thing that comes into my mind when I think about the Giants is that playoff game we lost last year, and one in which was important to us, obviously important to them. First time they've been in the playoffs in a long time.
We felt we gave the ball game away, you know, in the first quarter with the kicking game turnovers and that kind of stuff. And I'd like them, if they are going to beat us more on a physical basis, on a performance of two football teams, rather than just some breakdowns like that.
Another of the bitter memories that stuck with the Eagles during the offseason. Bruner to Mishler.
Everybody wants the Eagles now, and the Eagles is a physical team, and we're physical, and we just like to see who's the best out there.
I can't do nothing but smile when I play the Giants, because I know I'm at the ball game that I'm looking to have long hours and long days into the whirlpool and a lot of ice packs on me because they really hits.
Irv, that defense is falling apart in Philly.
Yeah, that's their biggest concern. They really feel they can hold most teams to 10 points. They're averaging somewhere like 22 or 23 points given up against them right now. I think Vermeil's most concerned about that.
All right, time now to go back to RFK Stadium. Dallas leading Washington 7-0. Let's go to Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat?
Brent, thank you very much. 7-0, as you said, is the score. I'm surprised, I think, John, of the inability of both Dallas and Washington to be able to get anything going running.
That's the thing, and especially on first down. Neither one of them, they wanted to get something like 4 or 5 or 6 yards on first down and then not get into those second and third and long. Neither team has been able to do that, but of course that's the strength of the defense also. Both of these defenses are playing very strongly today.
Do you see any drastic change in game plan coming up in the second half?
I think so. I think that they're both going to start throwing more on first down, maybe some more mixture, because neither one of those teams want to get in against that sub defense, because both of those sub defenses have been very successful.
It is unseasonably warm in Washington. It was 67, 68 degrees when the game started, and it's still just about that warm. Dallas leads something. We have another half to go. Joe Gibbs, the Redskins coach, a bright young future ahead of him. Defensive coach under John Madden at San Diego State. Also quite a racquetball player. Defensive coordinator at San Diego State. Raphael Septien will kick off. Mike Milnes back deep for Dallas. Septien kicking away from Milnes. If that's possible, it is not. He takes it at the 4. Got some room to roam for a while at least, but once again, Dallas is down quickly. Steve Wright, one of the first there. Halftime statistics would indicate what we were talking about. The inability of both teams, Dallas particularly, to be able to run at all. 18 yards on the ground. Total yards pretty close.
We were talking about first down, Pat. In the first half, Dallas had 12 rushes. They only made 9 yards on first down for an average of 0.8.
That usually doesn't get you the lead. Heisman looks to the right on first down. Has it batted down by Big Ed Jones. Art Monk, the intended receiver. First half possessions for Washington and what happened to them. They ran 7 plays, had to punt. 3 plays, produced an interception. 3 plays and a punt. And 10 plays. And they kept it a long time and still had to punt. Dexter Manley. It is for December the 5th. Unusually warm. Heisman on second and zone 20. Hand off Riggins. Danny Barnes, the first man to make contact with Riggins after a couple of yards. Not much developing.
Okay, and here comes that sub defense we were talking about. Dallas on third and long, around passing downs, brings in 5 players. And of course, they take 5 players out. They don't blitz a lot. In fact, Tom Landry was saying that they blitz about 10% of the time. But today, from this defense, in this situation, the Cowboys have been blitzing much more than 10%.
It'll be third, about 8. Clarence Harmon is in the backfield with Theismann now. Monk once again goes in motion. Theismann has some time to stay in. He throws intended for Virgil C. Just out of his reach.
See what happens when the Cowboys go to the 6 defensive backs. If they don't blitz like they did that time, then they can put doubles on 3 receivers. If they do blitz, of course, then the quarterback doesn't have the time. So it's a good mixture, but the Cowboys have been blitzing more today than they usually do.
Jeff Hayes back to kick. Ron Fellows back deep for Dallas. He has become a good punt returner.
Does Jeff Hayes look comfortable?
He did this time. High hanging kick that Fellows circles under, catches, starts upfield. Penalty marker quickly dropped. 2 of them down, in fact. 35-yard punt by Hayes, a 4-yard return. Flags everywhere.
Usually on the return, when they're throwing in that area, it's one of those clips or illegal block. That official's putting his arm around the other one, as he explains to him. But it's usually blocking from behind or clipping. There are 2 of them. See, now the referee in the black hat listens to both of them. That's illegal block from behind against the Cowboys.
So they'll move it back for Dallas' first possession of the second half. Cowboys leading Washington 7-0. Washington, the only unbeaten team in the NFL when this day began.
I was saying earlier about 2 losses. I think that the people with 2 losses after this week have a chance to get in the tournament.
Illegal block, number 54 of the receiving team, declined. Illegal block, number 24 of the receiving team, accepted. First down.
I wonder why they accepted against Everson Walls and not against Randy White.
Yeah, because they didn't want to get Randy White upset.
I think you're probably right. Pitch back Dorsett. Some room this time to the left. Then he goes out of bounds in front of the Cowboys bench, chased by Dexter Manley. 8 yards, 9 yards. We'll take that on first down every time. So would say Tom Landry, I'm sure, and Joe Gibbs.
That was the thing. When you only average 0.8 yards on first down, you're happy to see that 8-yard gain. Now, this is a great situation. 2nd and 2. Quarterbacks love it. Coaches love it. That's when you love to call plays. Hey, you go here. Boom, 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 boom. Heck, you can't be wrong.
See what Mr. Landry comes up with. 2nd and 2. He gives to Dorsett over the left side. He'll have the first down. Burrowing up to about the 48. Neil Olkowitz on the bottom of the pile. Andy White, of course, the quarterback. Next Saturday, don't forget, Saturday this is, the NFL today, the Eagles staggering just a little bit against the Giants. One of those teams that John Madden was just talking about, with 2 wins and a chance to stay alive and get into the playoffs. Then on Sunday, we'll be at Shea Stadium to watch the Buccaneers, who've now won 2, against the Jets. New Orleans at Atlanta, Washington at St. Louis, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago at Seattle. First down, Dallas. Their own 48. Or set. No, this is Spring with no place to go. Dexter Manley had a shot. And finally, some help arrives. And it's a loss of about 6.
Dexter Manley did what you always teach the offside end to do. You always tell them, stay at home. When the ball goes away, you chase it from behind, but you don't chase, so there's no cutback. He stayed at home nicely, then Springs came right back into him. Stay at home. Those are coaching terms. Okay, right end. When the ball flows away, you stay at home.
And you just saw Dexter Manley do just that.
He stood home.
2nd down. White goes back to pass. Trying to set up the screen. Does. Gets one block. Dorsett springs away from one Redskin tackler and struggles to midfield. Penalty markers go down once again everywhere. Rich Millott was the first tackler.
Tony Dorsett did that on his own. He had his right guard, Kurt Peterson, out there. Kurt Peterson didn't block anyone, and Dorsett still made some movement. Of course, this is going to be 15 yards against the Redskins. 5, 10, 15, 15 exactly.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52, defense, first down.
That's the middle linebacker, Neil Olkowitz, for the penalties against. Now watch the whole play here. White comes back. He's going to throw out to the left here to Dorsett. He throws to him on a screen pass. Now see, he has Richards in front of him. He just makes a little move there before Peterson could get there, and then gains that much yard. And watch right at the end, Millett piles on.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Redskins 35. 2 tight ends for Dallas. They'll throw on first down. Outside, Bruce Pearson does his little toe dance on the sideline. It's complete. Here's White on the defense.
Well, that was one of the things we were talking about, is what will the Cowboys do on first down? We'll have to find out what the Redskins do. We can see what the Cowboys are going to do. They're going to mix. They did run to Dorsett once. Now we see they get there, they get in the I formation, play pass, and throw the ball. And again, a great situation when you're 2nd and 1.
White is now 14 out of 19 for 138 yards. The one touchdown, the only touchdown in the game, was to Ron Spring.
Second and 1, you can get anything.
Pitch is back to Dorsett, who jukes to the inside, gets around to the outside, loses yardage.
You know, it was interesting that the left corner for the Washington Redskins, Jarris White, was up, and he got juked, as you said, by Tony Dorsett, and he tried to trip him, but he missed him. He juked a trip. Had he tripped him, it would have been a penalty. Let's see if we can see this again. Jarris White is number 45 right here. He sees the run. He comes up in a corner for us. Now he gets blocked. Turned out. Now watch. His left leg goes out there to trip Dorsett, and Dorsett jukes the trip. There's no penalty.
It'll be 3rd and 5. A much more difficult situation. An almost certain passing situation as they do line up in the shotgun. Redskins fake a blitz. Don't do it. Drew Pearson at the 20 will have the first down. Timing just perfect between White and Pearson.
Timing perfect, and the other thing, an experienced receiver who knows exactly what he needs for the first down. Now watch Drew Pearson here. He's the outside man. He goes right there. Now he's in position for a first down. He just stops in front of Vernon Dean, picks up the first down.
Pearson has 4 catches for 39 yards. He's had 18 games in his career in which he's caught passes for over 100 yards, and 6 of them have been against the Redskins, including some very famous ones. White to Dorsett. Around the corner, but the Redskins are up quickly once again. Vernon Dean, who's had a sensational afternoon or evening at cornerback, up to make the stop.
He's been all over the place. That was a counter play. Dorsett starts to the right, and they pull their right tackle, Jim Cooper. And then he leads the play to the outside.
Butts comes out, Coleman comes in for the Redskins, and Billy Joe Dupree comes in for Dallas. 2nd and 10. Springs and let's see. Cosby starts out, now he comes back. Springs goes out.
Cowboys had better hurry up, Pat. They only have 3 seconds to get this play off. They're not going to do it. Oops.
Dorsett down inside the 15 to the 14. They just barely got that one off.
That ball was snapped right on 0. It was a pretty good call, too, wasn't it? The old draw play. Watch it. Tony Dorsett's the only back in the backfield. It's a little delay. He starts to the left, and then he's going to cut right back to his right. Good block there by Billy Joe Dupree. 84 came in, pushed the linebacker to the side, and Dorsett was able to get the first down.
Not one of his most productive days, but he's gotten some clutch, tough yards today. 11 consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Here's Dorsett again. He got to about the 14, short of the first down, and we'll see Septien. Quentin Lowry is the first Redskin to hit it.
That was good short yardage defense by the Redskins. Let's see if we can see it there, the right side. The Cowboys are going to run to the left here. Now watch, they don't get any movement. We see penetration there by Brooks. We see Butch. You never get him going backwards. We see Olkowitz. We see Murphy. We see a whole bunch of guys in there on that one. The Cowboys didn't get any movement in short yardage.
Septien from 31 yards out with Toronto Hoban. Good. Looked like he hit it all that well, but it was right down the middle. So Dallas leads now 10-0 over Washington. We have 9:52 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Raphael Septien set to kick off. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 11 plays, 52 yards. 31-yard field goal by Septien makes it 10-0 Dallas. Now he'll kick off. Line drive kick to Nelm. Chases him into the end zone about 2 yards, and he's coming out. Nelm struggles for yardage, gets outside the 25 to about the 27 before Everson Walls trips him up. Once again, a reminder about next Saturday. It begins with the NFL today, and it's regular season. Average yards on first down. I didn't know Washington had done that well.
Well, of course, Dallas is up to 1.8 now.
That's Washington. Option pass wide open is Charlie Brown. Benny Barnes, the only Cowboy with a chance, made the pickup. 35-yard pass completion from Washington to Brown.
Let's watch that again. Now, Joe Washington does a great job of not showing pass too soon. Watch, Theismann throws out here to Washington. He makes it really look like a run. Then instead of showing pass, he showed like it looks like he was stopped. And then he just throws the ball out there to Charlie Brown, who fooled Dennis Thurman. See 32? Dennis started to come up to help on the run. And then, of course, Benny Barnes, number 31, had to get over to tackle him.
Washington did a great job of not showing that early enough. After motion, this is Theismann. Under pressure once again, intended for Monk, picked off by Everson Walls. His third interception in the last 2 games.
Everson Walls, a year ago, everyone was working on him. Now, let's watch Art Monk. He's going to run a post. Starts up there, runs into the post. Now watch Walls. Great jump on the ball. He stays a little behind him and had a great position for an interception. I'll tell you, that guy is a player. You know, Joe Gibbs says he has athletic arrogance. I don't know what that means, but I like that kind of talk.
That's pretty sophisticated, isn't it?
One thing why that was such a great play by Walls, we start motion here, which brings the safety across and keeps him up. Now there's no one into the post to help Walls deep here. So he had man-to-man on Art Monk, and that was a great interception. Let's watch it all the way. Now watch the motion here, brings the safety across. You see the weak safety come up right there? Now there's no help for Everson Walls in the middle. See, he has that whole thing, and he's man-to-man on the whole field with Art Monk. Great job by a second-year All-Pro defensive back.
An uncanny ability to make interceptions. Goes from Tim Dallas, back to Dorsett. Dorsett out to about the 25. 6-yard pickup. Mark Murphy nudged him out of bounds. Denver 20, Atlanta 14. That's third quarter score. Here comes Butch Johnson in.
Butch looked a little excited. You know, maybe he's bringing in a play that calls for him to get the ball. Kind of looked that way, didn't it?
He seems to have that ability like Walls to come up with the big play. 2nd and 5 or 6. Ball's at the 24-yard line. White. Cosby. Dallas first, outside the 30 to 32. Tony Peters made the stop on Doug Cosby.
I'll tell you, Peters had pretty good position too, but watch Doug Cosby there, 84. He takes an inside release. Now he's 6'6", and we see Peters is pretty good position. They have him inside out, but that big body at 6'6" can really catch a lot of balls when he can get turned around and face back towards the quarterback.
Out to the 32, Doug Cosby picks up the first down. 2 tight ends this time. Cosby's on the left, Dupree on the right. And off the spring. Over to the left side for just the cover. Meantime on the sideline, Joe Theismann, who's had 2 interceptions today.
And he's thinking, geez, did I have that post there? Because usually you worry about throwing the post because the weak safety's in there. And they had a great play to get the safety out with that motion. And he had man-to-man Art Monk. And he said, where'd that guy Everson Walls come from? A year ago we were all working on him. And now he's in the Pro Bowl and one of the best corners in this league.
2nd and 6 from the 35. As the man open again, it's Tony Hill. Dancing around in the Redskins secondary. Redskin defense has been out there a long time.
And now it's starting to show, too. Watch this. We'll see a little play fake. Again, he comes back, he fakes a run. We see Tony Hill. He stops. He's running a hook pattern, just stops in front of the corner, gives him the numbers. Oh, a little move on Mark Murphy, a move on Dean, and he's finally taken down.
17 of 22. That one to Tony Hill. And the 17 of 22, of course, Danny White. First down, out at the 47. Cowboys still in their own territory, but moving. Looks left, throws left. And Hill will get about 6 or 7 out of that. Vernon Dean laying off the speedy Tony Hill. Gave him some room.
I'll tell you one thing that impresses me about the Cowboys the second half is their play calling. And, of course, that goes to Coach Tom Landry. As they really look what the Redskins did first half, and then they came back this half, and they're counteracting everything the Redskins did in the first half.
And White's throwing it very well.
And he has all those plays in his left hand. See, they're all written here, blue ink, red ink, everything.
Danny White has hit 8 in a row now. Dorsett goes deep. 2nd and 3 from the Redskins 46. Dorsett breaks in for the first down. Hit from behind, goes down inside the 40 to about the 39, but gets a Dallas first.
Bunch of blocking on that side of the line of scrimmage. We see here will be Kurt Peterson and Jim Cooper. See, they're taking their men to the outside. Then we see a good block by Springs. They get movement on this side. And, of course, when you have Tony Dorsett and you're an offensive lineman, you love that. Big Doug Cosby, 84, getting some movement.
1st and 10 from the 40. Dorsett is out. Here comes the reverse to Tony Hill with a blocker in front. 2 blockers in front. Hill inside the 30. Hill to the 20. Out of bounds at about the 17. Another well-executed play. 23-yard gain.
Again, that's what's been impressive against the Cowboys. Great mixture. Watch the reverse. Watch what it does to a defense. Everything's going left, right, okay, flow. Everyone coming down. Whoop, I hand it off. Now we all have to go back to the other way. But Tony Hill, good block there on Kaufman, good block there on Peters, and a good block right there on Jarris White that finally springs Hill for the first down.
That last block was by Rafferty. Field.
With 3 good blocks out in front of Tony Hill.
1st and 10 from the 18. 5:07 left third quarter. Here's Timmy Newsom. Barreling down to about the 15. Lateral. Newsom. Touchdown.
I think you're right, Pat. I think the Cowboys have just worn down the Redskin defense. That was Timmy Newsom. He had been a fullback. Tom Landry moved him to tailback this year. He left camp for a day and said, well, I better go back because I'm not going to change his mind. But watch him here. He's a tailback, I formation. See, he gets a flip to the outside. Right now, he gets in the hole, shoulder square. Now he runs like a fullback. Into his own guy. Boom, off one tackle, keeping those legs going, shoulder square, fighting to get to that goal line. He's running like a fullback once he got to the ball. That's not bad.
That lateral move he made when he first got hit and kept his balance was well done. Stepped in, Serrano holding. Dallas went 80 yards for that touchdown, and now they lead 17-0. It took them 7 plays. Landry's hat should feel a little bit more comfortable now. Third quarter, 4:59 left. The Dallas scoring drive, 7 plays. They kept it 3 minutes, 52 seconds. Went 80 yards, and Newsom took it in from 18 yards out. Stepped in, set to kick off. Nelm fields it, good pitch. About 4 yards deep in the end zone. Nelm doesn't want to stay, and out he comes. And down he goes. Just outside the 20. Don't forget next Saturday. Washington. Back in action for Washington. Ricky Walker was the man in motion. Here's the draw play to Washington. Out to about the 25. A 2-yard pickup. John Dutton. Here's the scoring play again.
Let's watch it again. It's the I formation. Newsom in there. He gets a flip. But the best thing he did is get out there, get his shoulders squared up quickly, get into the line, make a move there, and then square him up again. And you can tell right there the determination to get in the end zone.
He wanted that badly. Monk comes in motion. Theismann drops back. Good protection for a while. Down the middle of Monk. Downs made the hit. Looked like it might have stung him just a little bit. 21-yard gain to Art Monk. First down, Redskins. 3:58 left to play in the third quarter. Dallas 17. Washington nothing. Denver now trailing Atlanta 21-20. Two very, very unpredictable teams there. Total offense by the two teams per half. Washington remains. Monk that once again comes in motion. As a man, it is Joe Washington, but there's a penalty marker down. Thrown from the sideline. Dennis Thurman made the hit on Washington. Defensive holding.
You know, until this drive, in the second half, the Cowboys offense had the ball 19 times. The Redskins only 5.
Holding number 51, defense, automatic first down.
Anthony Dickerson, guilty of defensive holding. Automatic first down. You heard that from Terry Markbright. Ball at the Dallas 48. Clock holding at 3:25, third quarter. Dallas 17. Redskins nothing. Heisman looking for C and overthrowing Virgil. For an update, let's go once again to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, here's the Atlanta touchdown you reported, and what a beauty. Bartkowski's going to throw the ball to Andrews, circling out of the backfield. Watch the blow he delivers. Steve Wilson's unconscious, out of the game. 86 yards for the score. The extra point puts Atlanta up. That was Junior Miller with the last cleanup block. Now let's go back to Pat and John. What a run.
Really was, and what a game we've had. 17-0 Dallas leading. Tough defensive struggle in the first half. Here comes the blitz. Heisman steps up into the pocket. Tries to get away. Taken down by Dickerson and Jones. Dallas sent a bunch of people. 5th sack on Heisman.
You know, and they've been doing it all day. When we were talking to Tom Landry last night, he says, no, he said, we don't blitz much, only 10% of the time. He said, we probably blitz less than anyone. And then he had a little smile and he said, but, you know, if it works, we tend to stay with it a little longer. It's been working today, and they have tended to stay with it a little longer.
You don't think Coach Landry would try to deceive us, do you?
I think he does, but one thing, when he tries to deceive us, he always smiles, and I like that, so you know you're being deceived sometimes.
Third down. 8-14, Heisman rolls to the right, looking, has a man. Pass is complete. Everson Walls made the stop. It was Art Monk who made the catch, but it'll be 4th down. 9-yard gain. The discussion goes on whether or not.
I think they've decided from the discussion that they're going to go for it on 4th down. Figure we're down 17-0, and we just can't give the Cowboys the ball back. The Cowboys had their punt return team on the field, and now they're bringing their defense back.
It is 4th and 5. Garrett is in the game for Washington. This is Monk in motion. Heisman stops. Standing in the pocket and throwing to tight end Don Warren, who stays on his feet and barrels down inside the 20 to about the 17. First down, Washington. Fellows on the tackle.
You know, you hate to say big play, but when you get down where you have 1 minute, 36 seconds in the third quarter, and it's a 4th down and you're going for it that early, this whole play could mean the game, because if they don't make it, the game is probably over for them. If they do make it, all it means is they still have more shots. You see Warren came up to the middle, ran it out in there, got the first down, and puts the Redskins in good position at about the, 17-yard line.
17, 1st and 10. 1:08 left third quarter. Riggins back in. Riggins, the ball carrier, hit by Dutton, but Big John carries him for about 4 yards.
I think one thing here, this is a good position to pass from. When you get 15 yards, much closer than this, it gets difficult to pass. When you get inside that 10, it's very difficult. But now when you're out here about the 15, it's a good position. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Redskins take 2 plays here, 2 passing plays right here.
2nd and 7. Redskins. Brown comes to the left side. Theismann under pressure again. They got him. Harvey Martin and Benny Barnes converged at the quarterback. Sack number 6.
Right, and it was that blitz. It was the thing we were talking about. Benny Barnes, the strong safety, coming from the outside. Let's see if we can see it. It'll be the right-hand side of the screen. Theismann goes back. The middle is protected pretty well. Watch the right-hand side of the screen. Here comes Barnes free, 31. He was the strong safety coming on the blitz. See if we can see it from this angle. See Barnes coming from the outside. Here he comes. No one blocks him, and he's free to come in on Theismann. The Redskins, as the third quarter ends, the Redskins have really had trouble with the Dallas blitz.
They'll change ends. 50 more minutes. They don't make the first down here. He has another difficult decision to make about whether to field goal or whether to go for the touchdown. Dallas on a blitz again. Theismann intended for Alvin Garrett, who is claiming he was interfered with. And here comes Mosley.
Let's watch him. I think he has to go for the field goal here because he's down 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Again, Barnes comes. They pick up Barnes. Nice job there. Now watch the ball here. It's out thrown just a little too long, too much to the outside. And he can't get to it. That's about as close as you can get without getting a touchdown. No penalty.
38-yard field goal attempt coming up. Theismann holding Mark Mosley, who's made 13 in a row over the last 2 years. Pumps it down the middle and makes it 14 in a row. He hasn't missed this year. That makes it 17-3 Dallas. Mosley hasn't been kicked. Hayes will kick off. Fellows deep. At the goal line. Redskins down quickly. They've always been good on special teams. They also get a penalty flag. Next Saturday at noon Eastern Time, the NFL Today will begin it. And then you see the match between the Eagles and the Giants.
The Giants got off to a slow start, 0-3, but they've won their last 2. Of course, they have Rob Carpenter back, too.
And they have a fine rookie running back in the person of Butch Wolford. Scored both the touchdowns today. If you haven't seen him, you'll be impressed.
He is very impressive, both running the ball and catching the ball. He made a great catch today.
They move it back closer to the Dallas goal line.
Block number 70 of the receiving team. First down.
Hey, this is a big series now for this Redskin defense. I'm sure they want to get up tight. They want to press. They want to do things. They have the Cowboys down. They want to keep them down here, either get a turnover or a punt in good position and get another score.
A lot of time left. 14:42. Look at the time of possession. 14:42 left to play. First and 10 at the 7 for Dallas. Pitch back. A high pitch to Dorsett. Penalty marker down already. Dorsett struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. He might have made it and he may not have. Dave Butts on the bottom of the pile.
This is in the area of offensive holding. It'll be interesting whether the Redskins turn the penalty down or not. I think if he didn't make any yardage, which again, I think I'd turn this penalty down and get the ball back sooner. Because see here, when we're in here, it's only half the distance to the goal line. So the penalty would only amount to about 3 yards. And that's what he's telling us. I think they'll turn it down.
Holding number 68. Offense declined. Second down.
You're right. Herbert Scott, of course, is number 68, the all-pro guard for the Cowboys, who had been injured, but now is healthy. Getting some playing time. Atlanta has moved further in front of Denver, 24-20 in the third quarter. Tony Hill comes wide to the left. Pearson to the right. Second down and 9. Cosby goes in motion. Right back close to the end zone, throws outside. Drew Pearson will have the first down for Dallas and gets him out of the hole. Jerris White on defense. 12-yard gain. Those are tough, important yards.
That's when you like to have a Danny White. I get the feeling this guy has ice water in his veins. Back there throwing from his own goal line. He needs a first down. Boom. Just pop it out there. Get your first down. Don't worry about interceptions or bad things happening.
White has only missed 5 times today. 19 out of 24. Pearson comes out to the left. He's the only wide receiver. 2 tight ends. Hand off, Dorsett. About 4 tough ones. Matt Mendenhall made the first hit. Dexter Manley helped out.
I think it's important now. The last time, the Redskins probably wish they had a blitz, put more pressure on White down there. They had him down. They had him backed up, and they didn't pressure. They let him off the hook. It'll be interesting now on second down to see if they do blitz or pressure White so he doesn't get that time.
2nd and 5. Line of scrimmage to 25 now. Dallas has a little bit more room. White pitch back to Dorsett. Out there very quickly is Mel Kaufman, the outside linebacker for the Redskins.
I think the Redskin defense did what they had to. They got up on the line of scrimmage and pressed them. You have to make something happen. You can't read and play back. You have to press. Now on this down, I think they probably have to do the same thing. Come with pressure, come with a blitz on White.
It's 3rd and long, and a good time to do it. 3rd and about 9, back at the 21-yard line. Cowboys leading the Redskins 17-3. They show a lot of people on the line of scrimmage. White throws outside. The pass is caught by Butch Johnson, but a flag is down once more.
False start, offense.
So a false start means that the play didn't get started. The penalty was called before the play, so there'll be no turning down or taking. They just have to take that penalty.
White went on a very quick count. Apparently someone anticipated a little bit more quickly.
False start, number 67, offense, 3rd down.
That is Pat Donovan.
We look at that Redskin huddle. Now we see the Dallas huddle. But I think, again, the Redskins aren't really getting any pressure on Danny White without bringing a linebacker and/or safety. I really think they have to do it.
On 3rd and 13 from the 16. White from the shotgun. Standing. Has a man down the middle. It's Butch Johnson, the intended receiver. Play is broken up by Mark Murphy. No penalty, no pass interference.
And they did rush. They did bring their linebackers, and I think that's the difference. Danny White in his shotgun, if you give him time, if you only rush 4, you see the stunt there. We see a line stunt in the middle. Linebackers coming from the outside. The Dallas Cowboy offense did a nice job of picking it up, though. But they did get a little push on it.
White now standing back at about the 1. Nelms back at his own 40. White trying to kick it away from him. Kicks it out of bounds. Nelms hops over the bench on the other side. Washington will take over in pretty good shape. 12-10 left to play. A 36-yard punt. No return. So the Redskins have the ball and will be... Both down at the bottom of the picture. And now Monk goes back in motion. First down pass. Caught. This is T. Inside the 30. Michael Downs made the stop. Redskins not out of it by any means. Down to the 28.
Virgil C. is the 3rd wide receiver. They have 3 wide receivers. Then we see him. He starts up. He's going to run it in. Fakes to the outside. Runs in. Catches it in the seam of his zone. And continues across. And up the field.
Second-year man from Troy State. Washington is the setback. Theismann quickly out to Monk. Monk shakes a couple of tackles. Then somebody shook his helmet off. Dexter Quingscale made the hit.
The Redskins were down 17-0, which meant that they needed 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Of course, they got their field goal. Now they have to go for a touchdown. Let's see the double movement. We see in here, we see Monk start in motion, stop, go on back and start, and go back to where he started, and then just stop and run a screen pass. You see who the blocker is out in front there? That's Charlie Brown.
Monk has 7 catches now for 100 yards. 6 on that last 6 yards on that last play, 2nd and 4. Washington on the draw play. Almost lost the football. Hit by Mike Hickman.
I think the Cowboys have figured it out, Pat, that every time that Joe Washington is in there and he's going to run, it's going to be a draw play because they're playing that draw play tough now.
So it'll be 3rd and 6 for Washington. 11 minutes left to play. A little offense comparison, pretty close. Dallas leads 17-3. Dallas defensive lineup the same way they started. Dutton and Randy White inside. Jones and Martin the defensive end. Reisman outside, caught by Washington. First down. Benny Barnes hit him out of bounds, but he got the first.
That's the other thing that Joe Washington does is gets the ball. Let's watch this. We see Benny Barnes up there. He fakes the blitz this time. The line goes into a stunt. Redskins do a nice job of picking up. Theismann has time and finds Joe Washington out here on an out pattern. Let's watch a big tackle, number 66, Jacoby. See, he didn't even get down in a 3-point stance. Watch him take on Harvey Martin. Goes to the outside with White. You see, he zoned that stunt. Started in with Martin. Boom, right back out with Randy White.
First down, Riggins is now in. The line of scrimmage is 17. Not over yet. Pump fake by Theismann quickly. Charlie Brown stays on his feet. Touchdown. Dennis Thurman was the defender out there, and Brown just gave him a little shake.
These fans have been waiting all day to do this. Have come to life.
Boy, his development, the development of number 87 has really helped Washington. Theismann holding. Mosley makes it 17-10. Still a lot of time left to play. Dallas 17, Washington 10. Hayes gets the kickoff. Fellows back deep for Dallas. Can't handle it. Now he does. And he's going to bring it out. Fellows up to about the 15. Nothing doing. Maybe something doing. The Redskins think they have the football. Or maybe they're just happy because they did such a good job on special teams.
I think so. That's always one of your goals. Keep the kick return team inside the 20. And anytime you keep them inside the 20, you have a right to get excited.
It's inside the 15. This is the last Redskins scoring drive. The story of it. 5 plays, 52 yards, 225. They kept it. And the touchdown pass to Charlie Brown from Theismann. 6 touchdown catches by Charlie Brown this year. 2 tight ends for Dallas. 9.5 minutes left to play. Tony Dorsett over the right side out to about the 20. 6-yard gain. Mel Kaufman stopped him.
You know, the offensive line of the Cowboys, Tom Rafferty, Peterson, Richard, Cooper, and Donovan have really done a good job of blocking today, both the run and the pass.
Dorsett has 22 carries, 53 yards. 6 yards on that last carry. 9 minutes left to play. Back to Dorsett again. Shy of the first down. Up to about the 23.
Hey, this place is alive now. Let's watch it from behind here. Again, it's the I formation, guard pull, fullback lead, pitch to Dorsett. Not enough movement there, you see? One, again, the triangle. A guy in front of Dorsett, a guy in his outside, and a guy in his inside, leaving him nowhere to go.
And Olkowitz there to close up the hole. 3rd and 3. Crowd now chanting defense. On their feet. Shotgun formation for Dallas. Just barely got that play off in time. White goes outside. A diving catch. Incomplete to Spring. They say no. Spring says yes.
Once again, will be to White's left here. You see good pass protection, not much rush. Spring's going out for the ball. Nope, he didn't have control. Looked like the ball hit, and then he brought it into him.
Ball hit the ground.
I don't think he would have had first down anyway.
He wouldn't have. So White standing back at his 5 now at the punt. Nelm back at the 35. And White is going to take off, and he'll have the first down. Danny White to the 40. And now he slides underneath the Redskin tacklers. What a clutch play by Danny White. 21-yard gain. Nelms had to come up and make the stop. And that'll quiet things down for a moment.
You know, Danny White can do that on his own. He has that option from Tom Landry. He stands back there. If he doesn't see any rush, he can take off with it. Now watch it. Here's what he sees. Well, see, the Redskins are in a return. No one is rushing right. He starts to kick. He sees them run off for a right return, runs right in behind him, knows where he has to go to get the first down, gets the first down, then goes into the hook slide.
So it's the first down. Cowboys now at the 41-yard line. Their own. They lead by a touchdown, 17-10. And it's Dorsett again. Over the left side for about 5. Rich Malott made the initial hit. Time now becoming more and more important. That's what's left.
I'll tell you, we talked about first down and second down and third down rushing, but the story of this game has been fourth down. The Redskins hadn't done anything. They didn't have any scores. In the third quarter, they had 4th and 5. Big decision. They went for it, got it, and they went and got a score. And they went and got another score. Then on 4th down, Danny White runs and gets the first down.
That'll make it 2nd and 6. White looks right, throws left. Stays it out of bounds. Tony Hill was the nearest Dallas blue shirt. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
There's a cool man in a hot position.
On a hot day.
I don't know how you can stay so cool. I don't know how Tom Landry can do it. Look, has a nice coat on, the hat, looks neat, Natalie attired, won 199 games. Joe Gibbs, he's quiet too. 2 fine coaches.
That's not the picture I remember of you on the sideline. 3rd and 6 at the 45. White looking downfield, pump fake, ball is loose, dropped it. Let's see who got it. Dexter Manley made the contact. That's the first sack on White. It looks like the Cowboys have it back. Jim Cooper, I think, came back and fell him.
Let's watch that one again. You see here, it's a shotgun. White starting back. A stunt there. He starts to throw, he can't. Boom, he gets hit right there, and the ball pops out. Now, that could have been the Redskins' ball, except the Cowboys recovered.
Alert play by Cooper. A good rush by Manley. And White, once again, is back in punt formation. I don't believe he'll run this time.
Well, the Redskins will watch for it this time, I'll guarantee.
Angling away from Nelms. He comes over for it. It goes out of bounds. And the Redskins will take over at about their own 36-yard line. 5.5 minutes left to play. Both in RFK Stadium in Washington. Redskins with the football, their own 36. 5.5 minutes left to play. Dallas leading 17-10. Art Monk goes in motion. Heisman quickly goes to work. Danny Hill out of time. Complete to his tight end, John Warren. Across the middle outside the 40. Good pass protection that time.
He had good pass protection. He needed good pass protection because he didn't have anyone open. The Cowboys secondary had outstanding coverage, but Theismann was able to wait and wait and wait and finally find his tight end.
Seattle making a bit of a comeback. Fourth quarter. Raiders still lead 28-13. Second and 4 here at the 42. Less than 5 minutes left to play. Monk in motion. Once again, Theismann had time, and now down he goes. They get back up again. Theismann still on his feet, and now they say no. They say he didn't go down as a result of contact. Or Theismann doesn't think he did. But the officials say that he did. Harvey Martin tripped him up.
I know what he's arguing about is he didn't call it on the first trip. Let's see if we can watch that again. Now, he'll go back. He'll trip once and get up, and it's not called till after that. You see the Cowboys stunt. Now, watch. He's going to start to scramble out here to the right. See, now, the official didn't call anything. So Theismann gets up, and he says, why'd you call it now? The reason he called it is because one of those linemen had a hold of his foot, and that's the old quarterback grasp rule.
So it's third down and 16. Back at the 30 now. 4.5 minutes left to play. Passing situation, certainly. Washington in the game. Joe Washington. Once again in motion. Heisman outside. He has Warren open. Monty Hunter out there with him to take him down shy of the first down. And again, the Redskins face that 4th and 5 situation, and the punting unit comes on.
I think this is right. You know, with 3 minutes, 58 seconds, they have all their time.
Punt. Fellows field. Takes one tackle, gets away from another, but then a whole host of Redskins are down quickly. 38-yard punt. No return. So Dallas takes over. 3.5 minutes left to finish. Pearson wide out to the left. 2 tight ends set up for the Cowboys. Dorsett shifts back deep. Long count. Pitches back to Dorsett. Looking for some room to the left, and nothing there. Right now, let's once again go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update.
Pat, I want to show you a defensive highlight that has turned the game around in Denver. You and John take a look now. DeBerg is back to pass. Goes toward the end zone. On the hit, it's up in the air. Buddy Curry's got it. The Falcons go down. Mick Luckhurst has just kicked his second 51-yarder. They lead by 7. Let's go back to Pat and John.
At RFK Stadium, it's 17-10. The Cowboys over the Redskins. Second down and 9 for Dallas at their own 22. Less than 3 minutes now left to play. White stops the throw. Throws outside for Hill and has him. That's enough for a first down, and he's out of bounds in front of the Redskins bench. 20-yard gain. White to Tony Hill.
This Danny White just amazes me, Pat. I mean, here they are. You know, a big game, the big rivalry. They're playing on the road. He needs the first down. He just stands there calmly, boom, hits Hill out there, first down, gets the ball out to the 42.
20 out of 28, 206. This is only the first time since 1960, the first year Dallas was in existence, that these two teams will only play once during the regular season. And off Springs, straight ahead. Outside the 46, about the 47, Rich Malott made the stop. Clock running at just over 2.5 minutes remaining.
You know, the other first that's probably going to happen is Tony Dorsett is not going to gain 1,000 yards for the first time since high school. He would have to, going into today's game, he would have had to average 144 yards per game.
And he won't get that today. 2.5 minutes. Against the Giants. Second down, 5 from the 47. Dorsett. Cuts, ducks back inside, loses the football. Dallas gets it back. Ball was loose. There was one Cowboy there. It is Kurt Peterson, the offensive guard who made the recovery.
Watch him. He's the right guard. He comes across, makes an outstanding block there, sees the ball pop out, and jumps on it. That's the old double dipper. You get up, you make the block, you knock your man down, something bad happens, you jump on it. That is a very, very big play in this game for the Cowboys. And it's made by a guard, number 65. I like that. Kurt Peterson.
Washington has called a timeout. They only have...
That's what Mark Murphy did.
White on third down. Throws the screen pass. Looks like it's pretty well set. Dorsett gets in Redskin territory and picks up the first down. 10-yard gain and enough to move the sticks. Murphy made the stop on Dorsett.
Now that doesn't look like much. Of course, it was a third down play. Got the Cowboys a first down, but...
For the Cowboys. Screen pass picked up a clutch first down. Dorsett once again moves back deep. They hand off to Ron Springs, and he's got some room. Springs to the 30, 25. Ron Springs will ice it. 46-yard touchdown sprint by Ron Springs.
Look at them all on the ground. Look at the dirt, the grass. Ron Springs broke it. That's what happens when you have a Tony Dorsett. Everyone's sure the Cowboys are going to run. They're going to run. We have to stop Dorsett. Dorsett goes right, and there goes Springs left. Gibbs said, doggone it, we should have been watching Springs too.
1:52 left to play, and Dallas now leads 23-10. Raphael Septien with Glenn Carano holding. Dallas was a very slight favorite in this game. They had every bit of struggle that they could have possibly bargained for. Septien, 24-10.
Let's watch the touchdown play again. Here we see I formation. Dorsett right, Springs right, and then cut back left. Look at that cut back lane. The Redskins were all up front to stop the run. Once he got by that first route, it was all grass to the end zone.
So with a minute 52 left to play, Dallas looks safe. At the moment, at least.
You want to see who made this play? Watch the left guard, number 1 draft choice a year ago, Howard Richards. Watch the block that he makes here for Spring. Now watch it. The ball starts to the right. Now he gets his man here. Now watch him turn him and drive him inside. Right there. And that's what made the hole for Ron Springs. Great blocking up front by the offensive line. Not bad running here either.
Pretty good little move by Springs to get rid of Dean.
But it all starts up front.
Get the job done from those guys. It makes the rest of it look and is a lot easier. Nelms at the 7. Jumps over a pile, gets out to about the 39-yard line before the Cowboys get him down, led by Ron Fellows. Redskin first down from their own 39. Heisman outside Washington. Washington chased by Benny Barnes and tackled by Benny Barnes. Did not get out of bounds. Atlanta 34. Denver 20. And Reeves having a few problems in Denver. By the way, when this one is over, don't go away. We'll switch you possibly to that Denver game. Picked off by Dennis Thurman. And Thurman still on his feet. Gets back into Redskin territory to the 46-yard line. That's the 3rd interception by Theismann. And Theismann, who had to help out on the tackle, looks like he might be a little stunned.
I don't know what happened to him because he went down before the ball carrier got there.
That might have been smart. Senior producer is Charles Milton. Today's game produced by Robert Stenner. Directed by Sandy Grossman. John Petrano, the associate producer. And the rest who helped so much. First down for Dallas. A minute 14 left to play. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Joe Gibbs It's a good fight. White just kneels. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. Is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited.
Well, after today's game, Tom Landry is going to have his 200th win. Believe me, that's amazing. I went through 100 of those things, and I know what you have to get through to. I know what you go through to get 100. This guy's gone through 200 of them. Tom, how about a smile? You do it. 200 wins. Give us a little smile.
Your smile on the way home.
And the other thing is there won't be any more undefeated teams in the NFL.
It's third down. 31 seconds left to play. There'll be a lot of teams now at 4-1, including the Packers, the Redskins, and the Dallas Cowboys.
Who would have thought that before the season started? We said there'll be three teams at 4-1. The Cowboys are one of them. Who'll the other two be? I don't know if you would have picked the Redskins or the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think so. Raiders 28, Seattle 20. Yet again next Saturday, the NFL Today, followed by the Giants and the Eagles, and then NCAA basketball here on CBS. And now the handshake says the clock should run out, and Dallas shouldn't have to run another play.
Smile, Tom.
24-10 and 200 victories for Mr. Landry. Joe Theismann is very discouraged. Quarterback of the Redskins. So the final score here is Dallas 24, Washington 10.
Tom Landry walks off the field like it's just another day's work, all in a day.
Done it a lot of times. Pat Summerall here saying so long for John Madden. We're once again at RFK Stadium, Dallas 24, Washington Redskins 10.